Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Coach, you're about to play a clip about stinky tofu. How are you going to link that up to personal development? How are you going to use that to motivate me? Don't worry about that part. I got you, okay? That's not the part you worry about. The part you worry about is hitting the subscribe button. It's Coach Colin, coolest high performance coach in the world. We're sitting at episode 1925 with Sonny from the best food review show ever. I even said it wrong, but look him up. Just write best food review. It's Sonny. We're at 22 minutes, 59 seconds. Let's get into it.
Got the whole rainbow pack.
So back to this stinky tofu sandwich. Mm-hmm. What kind of diarrhea does that produce?
You know, people always ask about diarrhea.
It must be phenomenal.
And here's the secret. It's like there's in the Avengers, there's this scene with the Hulk where they're asking like, "Oh, you can control your anger now," and he goes, "That's my secret. I'm always angry."
Right.
So I always have diarrhea. And I don't remember the last time it was just like a nice, really solid one. So
have
back
you
to
ever
the
gone
tofu.
to a doctor? It might be an issue.
It might be, but then what? What? I got a brother allergic to milk. I got a brother allergic to gluten.
That's pretty normal.
What he's gonna say? Stop eating this stuff? I'm not gonna stop. This is my job.
All right.
The thing about the tofu. This is what I was gonna say, and this was a pivotal moment for me. A realization, which is, I literally had anxiety before walking in there. I was like, oh my God, what if I eat this and I throw up? It's gonna look disrespectful. Then I didn't show up Andrew Zimmern, and I looked at it this way. I said, I need to eat this food. I need to put my mouth around this sandwich, and I need to have the perspective and the mindset of a local person. I shouldn't be like someone on Fear Factor trying to get it down and just, I need to accept it. I need to try to enjoy it. And I need to think about what would local people enjoy about this. And that worked. And that's what I do anytime I'm eating something pretty unusual around the world. It's not always something I'm pumped to eat. But when I was with the Datoga tribe in Tanzania, and they've just ripped open this cow, they've got blood in one gourd and then gastric acid from the small intestine, essentially liquid green shit, and they're tearing off pieces of raw liver. This wasn't in the outline. It's just happening. And they're like, we got to roll. They're doing it. We got to roll now.
So they dip the
liver
into the gastric acid?
Into both. Yeah,
that is
they
so wild.
double dip. And let me tell you, they double dip. So they go blood, gastric acid, they toss it down, and it's one of the most strange experiences I'd ever had, but I loved it because I loved how the people there were so into it. And for them too, people talk about, you never want to be overtly disrespectful on camera, but oftentimes people are aware within their own culture if they're eating something strange.
So here's you doing this.
Oh yeah, that's a different one. So,
but
that's right. So this is
similar.
also, we're watching a video here with the Maasai, also in Tanzania. In Tanzania, they have a very interesting way to kill the goat. What you see here is that the blood has pooled inside, and I'm scooping out the blood with my hands. It's still warm, and
it's coagulating too.
They slurp it up. Well, and you got to try to get it all before it coagulates too much. And if you hesitate, like, oh, I need to get in the right headspace, it's going to be gone. They're going to eat it all.
Jeez. There's a lot of Native American tribes that would take raw liver and squirt bile on it. Yeah, they would squirt like gallbladder juice on it. And
have you had bile?
No.
It's the most bitter thing you'll ever taste. All I can compare it to is if, when you are a young man, if you dry heave to the point of just throwing up stomach acid, it's that.
So why would they want that on their food?
Remarkably, cultures around the world develop a taste for the extremes in different directions. There's the four main tastes that people talk about, whether it's like sour, savory, sweet, places like stuff that's really salty or bitter in the case of bile. In northern Thailand, they will take the buffalo bile and drip it over their rice, their sticky rice, over raw buffalo meat. It's just been a taste that they've acquired over time.
And they look forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever talked to a doctor or a nutritionist? Is there some sort of a reason to do that? Like, is there some nutritional benefits to putting that stuff on your food?
Bile in particular?
Yeah.
I've not talked to a doctor. I don't know that many doctors.
I don't know that many doctors. So, yeah, I guess some cultures, bitter, savory, sweet, shit, blood, this is the regular stuff. Holy, you have to understand, I was listening to that. Again, high performance coach, but when I fill in the blanks to pay bills and stuff like that, I'm doing Uber Eats. So I was listening to this. I wasn't watching this. So that was my first time seeing that. That was insane. He was scooping blood out. Jesus. God, I hadn't seen that before. I heard him talking about it. I didn't realize there was a video playing. Holy, that was crazy. But that threw me off. All right, so back to personal development. So basically, the thing that he said about what I'm going to do when I eat this thing is I'm going to think of, like, I'm going to try and appreciate it like a local person would appreciate it. He's going to try and do it like he's one of the locals. Like, how great would it be if you could take that type of thinking on towards all the hard things that you have to do? Like, even as that was being said, I didn't think of this before, but I'm thinking of it now. It's like, what do runners enjoy? Let's say you have to run 20 miles and it's grueling and it's disgusting for you and you hate it. It's like, think of it like, what would a runner enjoy in this? What's the best thing about this? Like perspective. And just instead of taking your own perspective and how you've always seen it, just try and think about somebody else's perspective. Like, what would a runner love about this horrible feeling? Well, I guess they would love the fact that they get to breathe so heavy. I guess they'd love the fact of all the scenery they're seeing. I guess they would love the exercise they're getting. I guess they would love the fact that they're sweating. And it's like, as you just keep on thinking like that, eventually you're going to get into the mindset of someone who's like that, someone who enjoys running. I don't know, man. Like, I think that is such a good way of thinking about it. Like, he's talking about eating stinky tofu, which they didn't get into it in the clip. It's like, it's this putrid, disgusting, absolutely horrible smelling tofu. He eats it in a sandwich and somehow he just gets through it by thinking about it like a local, thinking this is the taste that they like. Well, I guess he's trying to appreciate everything that they would appreciate. And we can do that in our own lives. Every time that we have something hard going on in our life, all we have to do is just think about it from a perspective of someone who loves this, right? Now, this may not apply to something like a death in the family or, like extreme traumatic losses or anything like that. It may not apply there, but you know what I mean? Like the regular hard things that we have to address every day, the mountains we have to climb, the habits we have to actually take on in order to improve ourselves. All we have to do is just start thinking about it. Like you guys, you may not be the most motivated person. I love Tony Robbins, right? I love listening to motivational stuff. You may not like that stuff. You may think that's like hokey bullshit, but listen to it and try to take on my mindset. Be like, what would this guy really like about this? I guess he would like the way that he's talking. I guess he'd like the music. It's a little uplifting. I guess he'd like the points that he's making. I guess he would just like the fact that somebody's speaking positively. I guess it's better than listening to someone who's negative. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just start taking on the mindset. The mindset. Somebody actually made a comment. They're like, man, you explain the same thing so many times over. Of course I do. Because I want you to get it. And I'm just trying to break it down in every single way I can think of so every single person listening can understand. I think that's an absolutely amazing way to think. Just take on the mindset of somebody who would absolutely love what's in front of them. And just try to apply that mindset. And it'll be hard at first, but as you keep going, you'll start to fall in love. You'll start to actually shift. And then all of a sudden that perspective that you were trying to have of somebody else's will now become yours. Think about it. It's like even in a business, another explanation. Even in like business, like trying to start a business, it's like really hard for you at first, but then try to take on the mindset of somebody who loves getting into entrepreneurial ventures. What would they love about an entrepreneurial venture? It forces you to start finding the positive in whatever situation is hard for you. Instead of just going through it gruelingly, you're now finding the positivity. Well, I guess this entrepreneur, I guess they like the fact that they don't have to answer to anybody. But I mean, it's so hard. I mean, I don't know. I guess they like the uncertainty, because I guess that uncertainty, it means that they can fail, but it also means that there's no ceiling on their success. Well, I guess also they like the fact that they get to do what they want. I guess they like the fact that they can switch from this business to that business if they so choose. And then you just keep going. And then as you start to understand all of the positives, as you're doing the thing that's hard will now become something that's not just easy, but bearable. Because that's all we need in life. When it comes to these habits and stuff that you're trying to form in your life, or maybe habits you're trying to break, we just have to make it bearable. Just find the positivity and make it bearable. And as long as you can understand that there's positive in it, it becomes bearable. And as long as it's bearable, you can keep getting through it. I don't know. That was the lesson I got in there. And then also, I mean, this guy's scooping up blood and eating it and drinking it. Also, a lesson in there is, how far are you willing to go in order to pursue what it is that you feel like you're called to do? Like, this guy feels like he's called to make this food show, and he's willing to go so far that he's scooping blood out of a cow and drinking it as it coagulates. And he's like, I gotta get it before it's all gone. You know what I mean? Like, this is past just doing it for views. He's doing it because, like, he feels like this is what he's supposed to do, and he's willing to go to the extreme degree in order to accomplish it. If we could take on that mindset as well, I think a lot of us would be a lot further along than we are right now. Maybe we would be as far along as we think we should be. So I know that's a thing for everybody. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I'm out. Peace.